My first speaker is a lady. She will explain it. She actually came here to this event, sat just where you were, and she's going to tell you what happened to her after being at Author 101 University and how her life has changed. And she's an amazing lady. Welcome, Nancy Brook. Hey. Hello, my dear.
Hello, Rick.
Welcome.
I wonder if you'd start by joining me in a toast.
A toast. I love toast. Okay.
This toast is for all of you. Congratulations. You've just heard the good news that your manuscript has been accepted and you will be a published author.
Woo! Very good. Champagne. I'm going to keep this with me.
All right.
Thank you. All right.
Imagine how you'll feel when your book is actually out and you see your name on the cover. Think about how proud you will be after all of your work and effort that your book is really in bookstores. Last year, I was sitting where you are, as Rick mentioned, in the audience, just like you are, taking notes, trying to figure out how I could get my book published. And I heard these words from Rick. 1 year from now, you too can be a published author. And I believed him. It didn't take me 1 year to get my book published. It actually took me 3 days after this conference to find a publisher. And I am happy to report, I know, wow, can you imagine? I am happy to report that my book, I have not only found a publisher, my book is now in print. Cycling, Wine, and Men, a Midlife Tour de France, with my name on the cover. I want each of you to experience this success. And today I'm going to tell you how I was able to find a publisher in 3 days. But first, I want to take you back to where my journey as a writer began. It actually started with a kiss. It was a chaste peck on the cheek from my then boyfriend. And I knew that things weren't going well at that point. How many of you have ever had that feeling that you are about to be dumped? Raise your hand. Yes. Oh, come on, you in the front, you've had that experience, haven't you? That's right. Well, I was out walking with Jeff. I live in Billings, Montana. Have you been to Billings, Montana? Billings, Montana is where I'm from. And I was walking with Jeff along the banks of the Yellowstone with my 2 hairy herding dogs. Those of you who were here last night, you saw some different dogs, some cute little poodles. My dogs are a little more robust dogs. Zimmer and Lucky. These are my hairy herding dogs. So we were walking along the banks of the Yellowstone with my boyfriend, Jeff. And Jeff had his dog, appropriately named Sanka, who's a decaffeinated sort. And we got to our trucks, and we loaded our dogs, and he gave me that kiss on the cheek. And I said, why don't you want to kiss me anymore? A boyfriend should kiss you, right? Yeah, absolutely. So he kissed me again, more passionately this time. But I had a feeling I was about to be dumped. I was right. He called a few days later to give me the news. And he broke up with this line. I don't know what it is, but you bug me. Do I look like somebody who would bug you? I don't know what it is, but you bug me. I said, I bug you? And he said, yes, you bug me. I said, why do I bug you? There must be reasons. You just aren't telling me. He said, I don't know what it is. I just can't see myself in a relationship with you. So I hung up the phone. And what do you do when you break up with your girlfriend, boyfriend? What do you do? Say next. That's a good answer. Go. Who said the friends? Okay, that lady is going to get a book. That's exactly right. Woohoo! So I called my good friend, my BFF, Kathleen, who happened to be my former sister-in-law, and I gave her the blow-by-blow experience of my breakup with Jeff. And she gave me some good advice. She said, cry for a week. Well, I started right away. I went to sleep, and in the morning, Zimmer, the white dog that you see on the screen, nuzzled me awake at 5, told me it was time to get up and go for a walk. And as I was walking in the dark in Montana, it's a little cold in Montana, so I had a ratty blue jacket on and my little headlamp because it was winter. And as I was walking through the dark, I realized that this was the 7th breakup in 7 years. And Alex Carroll, are you in the room? He knows this line. I'm the expert at being dumped, so that's my claim to fame. This was the 7th breakup in 7 years. And what I decided is I needed to do something differently. So I didn't exactly know what to do. Should I maybe quit my job? Should I move? Maybe I just needed a new hairdo. That makes you feel better sometimes. But what I decided is I needed to ask myself a different question. What would make you happy, Nancy? And I smiled as I realized my answer. I want to go to France. Yay! There's a French aficionado. So I went to France, and what I discovered is that I was in a land of beauty. I had been putting off my dreams for 2 decades. Any of you have dreams that you've been putting off? Yes, ma'am. Is one of those maybe writing a book? I thought so. I had that as well. I went to France, and I brought my bike, and I cycled from Bordeaux all the way to the Alps. And along the way, I even climbed up Mount Ventoux. Tour de France fans out here? Mount Ventoux is one heck of a climb. Pro cyclists have even died on this climb. And I rode up it with a hangover after Bastille Day. And let me tell you, I know, can you believe it? Let me tell you, I made it up, but I was ready to die along the way. So I went to France, and I blogged about my whole experience. And of course, I'd also been writing about all of my failed relationships for the past 7 years. And so I thought, wow, I have the makings of a book, because like you, this was one of my dreams, to write a book. So I began my journey of writing. And I wrote for about 9 months. And I put together all these chapters of my failed relationships and my trip across France. And I live in Montana, which I don't know if you know this, but Montana is not the literary capital of the nation. We have more cows than writers in Montana. So I was really stuck. I knew nobody in the publishing world. I really didn't know any editors. I did some local writing for newspapers and magazines, and I decided I would ask for their help, but of course they hadn't published books. I really didn't know what to do. Then I read some books that the idea is to submit a book proposal. Who have book proposals ready? Raise your hand. Okay, a few of you do. So I wrote a book proposal and started querying agents. And let me tell you, you want to feel rejected? You think getting dumped 7 times in 7 years is bad. You try writing to agents, and you will see rejection after rejection after rejection. And there was a time when I actually heard a yes response from my query letter by an agent I'll call Maxine. And this was August, a year after I had taken my trip to France. And wow, I was so excited, and I waited, and I waited, and I waited, and I finally got a rejection email from her telling me she had reviewed my proposal, but she wasn't going to proceed with my book project. And I don't know about you, but you have this dream, and you don't have any way to make it happen. And it is so frustrating to have so much passion and to have no way to figure out how to do this. So this went on from August until March of last year, March 2010. And I made the decision to come to Author 101, just like all of you. And I want to clap for you, because this is one of the best decisions you could have made for yourself as writers. So congratulations for being here.